I'm eating crackers. Just to prove it's not stomach now. Need to drink. Now we're going to gargle. So if any of it's bile or puking, there should be crackers in it. No cracker. Try it again. A little bit from my mouth. There was a little cracker goo, but not crackers. That'll tell you. Alright, that's how much we're going to have. So no crackers. My voice gets better the more I do this. I'll sound like me. When I was out in the kitchen, or out in the garage, I was saying, I am not a Jew. But they tried to get me to say, I said they're trying to get, no, I can't even remember what was said. But they tried to get me to say me Jewish. And I'm not Jewish. I don't know what is about these type of bug mentalities for just hiving onto something and spreading. But the fact that you can't even criticize it put the American people in danger. That put people in danger spiritually. So you better be able to describe to me exactly what a Semite is before you say anti-Semitic. I mean like the old way. Because once you know what they truly are, you won't say anti-Semitic. You'll say for life. You're not a Saturnist. You're not a Semite. You don't worship the dead. You don't worship dead deities. You worship life. And I don't talk that way anyway. Me not Jewish. I need to call for the record keepers to amend the record to say me they try to shoot and ionize the soul and then try to grab it into Zion, I think now. That is how evil Orthodox have gotten. You should never have let them use guns. They don't believe or worship life. And before they started trying to come to my trailer, I never had any jittering. I think the thing is in town and trying to soul pull, like they did in Aramea. If they're that bad, then not allowing people to criticize them or point it out puts people at a danger spiritually. So I'm going to condemn whoever does that to hell. Not prison, not Guantanamo, hell. Which is another named angel. Mm-hmm. I had too much in my mouth then, so I did that. Whew. Ooh. And don't think I'm picking on them. I think the Sikhs that believed the last guru, that there wasn't going to be any more gurus, complete idiots. Just idiots. I think Buddha, trying to change nature from what nature is, goes against the very worship of what nature is. So don't get that. For trying to claim a me, that should be the end of Judaism. You're very dirty men. The Orthodox are very, very dirty men. They don't admit that in some cultures. I'm gonna roll it. Sorry, there's a demon that's a reflection demon. That somebody tried to put me in a reflection when I first saw them, just the event. They saw someone pretty and thought they would breathe them. That's the thing, is I never thought the other side was pretty. You can't fix that type of ugliness with somebody else's face. But trying to induct me into religion, I don't usually tell people, but it ends that religion. So far, almost all of them have tried it. And I refuse all of them. What touched the video? I didn't unlock it. So what's doing that? Ew, I can almost hear the stink of one of them. And the sound of the stink. Smaller now. Weird. There we go. Excuse me. See what I mean? An auto burp. It's already happening again. Azrael knows that Amin can't be Jewish. It would kill me. So is she trying to atone with Amin? Because that is the end of Azrael. So, for trying to atone with me, they're about 2 years late for the atonement. So Azrael will start killing Jewish kids. That's why you don't pick someone who pisses you off. You're supposed. She had made a request for the most dangerous Jew there was. Instead of actually sending him out to her, they tried to send him at me. And he failed it. That was gross. You could actually see someone shoot me so much that it changed from liquid to like gunk and came out in a blob. Either shooting in possession, or who knows right now. Icky. The being in there wants to know. They don't know if she's going to say something. There is no reason that thing should have traveled to Michigan over the last week. And regardless of how I said that the medication they were putting on me was making it so I couldn't read, couldn't do math, and it was debilitating me spiritually, they didn't do it. They went to injection. Guess what the nationality is of the two that are trying it? And they don't have a lot of options in this county besides that. And this bitch didn't even want to admit I was autistic. I'm like, I have high functioning autism. I have my own life. She's like, well, it's about psychosis and psychosis. I'm like, I've never been a danger to others in my life. I have empathy. I just don't show it because I'm autistic.
I don't think so. I'm like, it doesn't matter what you think because you're wrong. I could probably draw her husband, and I shouldn't know what he looks like. He will suddenly stop being racist. They buy them stupid. Women are buy men stupid. And I asked her initially, are you Hindu? And she said no. And I'm like, why do you have a gold elephant on your statue then? Or a gold elephant statue, yeah, you do. Since then, the thing has had animosity. I don't understand what it is, but I don't like it. And they didn't have an alternative. Well, now I'm seeing someone else, but she just seems to follow what the other one was saying while she's on leave. So there's no help in the way that I need it. And I am going to end up requesting that they check online because a friend of mine, and I'm not going to tell you how, but they let me know there was a hit on me from a Jan online, an $8,000 hit. So more than likely, if I come up missing at some point, you're going to want to check that thing, and check the kid, and check the skin. More than likely, they'll try to take it out of the country, which would cause war. Because I don't do anything, and I'm kind of a recluse, it's really hard to do this whole picking up and stealing thing. The town's really small, so there's only so many places I can be. And I don't get in the car with strangers, that much is obvious. I'll just walk. I don't talk to strangers, I don't do that kind of stuff. So there's no reason that I should get picked up by somebody. I have a pretty prominent name though. And I said something about having AB negative blood. The B negative is really hard to register, but it's AB negative blood with an RH negative factor. That alone would try to get somebody to try to kill me, regardless of what it is in this town. And her diagnoses don't make sense. I had a year of compliance, like months and months and months. She takes the last 2 times there's an issue and just keeps repeating it over and over again. And I said, for what I am with autism and how she acts, she is a psychopath. I think Gil is a clinical psychopath. Because I said the thing wasn't preventing me from reading, and I'm not a danger to myself. The guy I live with, I'm worried about his house. I take care of his dog. Like, it doesn't make sense what she tries to picture for me. Said I wanted to record the visits to prove how many times I asked to have a different medication. She was like, oh no, you can't do that. There's something weird about all these people having this, oh no, type thing. That tone should be dead. Ooh, condescending and shitty sounds. Like, that's the sound that I refuse to hear forever. And I had an autistic meltdown the day she was going to test me for it. I had been sick for a week. I had an autistic meltdown. I needed to calm down for 20 minutes. Instead, they're like, are you being uncompliant? And I'm like, no, I'm having a meltdown. I want to go home. And I went home, calmed down, called them and said I would still do the test. I would still do all this stuff. And sure as shit, they just went through the decision. And I'm like, there's no possible way I can get help in this county with that. But I want to talk to a special agent about the fact that I could draw Gilda's husband. Because then she has to admit it's either a spiritual problem, and I don't want her spiritual help. That's the next thing that monster would try to do. That she needs to be out of my life and any life of my children for good. recording it, regardless of their policy, you'll see it. She barely pays attention to the complaints. It's like, you are a psychopath. I'm autistic and bad at something. And I want to press charges in some way, or at least have an investigation if I can draw Gil's husband. Because I get the feeling that town started playing secret police, and even though they wouldn't admit it to me, and give me any type of respect about it being a spiritual problem, they were doing cloak and dagger type shit. And spending more than it would cost to question me just directly. Oh my gosh. Because I had nightmares about this woman, and her she was trying to be in an all-white thing, and it was like she was hovering above me. Like nightmares of this thing in this horrible white dress trying to hover and go, hey! It's like, what is wrong with Hindus if that's even a thing? And I had no prior knowledge to them doing that to women, and now I think they just brain numb beautiful women that are lower on the caste system and try to give these ugly things that have rich parents someone else's kids. And all you're doing is stealing children. You deserve Midian if you steal a child from a woman that way. You deserve to go to Midian as a child molester, a rapist of women, and a killer of women.